All right, you are tuned in to the How to Life podcast. I'm your host, Michael Chonies, aka Rockwell, Rock Wheezy, Rocchiovelli. That got away from me a little bit. So, in this series, we are going to be talking about dementia and caring for an elderly parent who has been diagnosed with dementia. In March of 2025, on my birthday, the 24th, we got a diagnosis for our mother, who is now 74 years old. And, the year prior, I'd say almost maybe the year or two prior to 2025, obviously we were seeing some signs. We were seeing a lot of aggression. We were seeing a lot of repetition, forgetfulness, things like that. However, at the time, we knew that she was taking medication for anxiety. So we thought maybe, her kind of just stopping her meds, maybe that was what was going on. And then, in January of 2025, we were evacuated from our home for the Eaton Canyon fires. And, it was just us. There was a lot. It was a lot. And as a family, we could tell that there was something that needed to be addressed, and we finally kind of gave Mom the ultimatum, and she agreed to go to the doctor, and we got the diagnosis. And so this past year, we have been researching, reading, trauma bonding, laughing, crying, you name it. When you are thrown into something that's unexpected, you have no choice but to sink or swim. And, we are of that generation where we take care of our elders, whatever that looks like. And so that's what we decided to do. We made a pact, and we said, let's just do everything we can within our power to keep her home and comfortable and safe with as much respect and dignity as possible. And whatever that looks like, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, you name it. Because I'll be honest with you, from the research and the reading that we've been doing, obviously everybody's different, and every case is different. But for my sister and I and my niece and who are here on the daily 24/7, we noticed just the nastiest, meanest verbal attacks, and then a lot of confusion, right? A lot of times my mom would be calling me by my dad's name. She'd call my sister by one of her sister's name. Accusations, you name it. Imagine, right? Imagine your mother cussing you out, attacking you, getting on the phone with anybody who will listen to tell them how horrible you are, how you're not even her family. That's not easy to hear and deal with on a daily. And so recently, I had to have a conversation with my own father, which I ultimately had to go no contact with him, because he was just another person who was calling and criticizing, and everything was negative and everything we did was wrong. This is a guy who, doesn't live here, who's not in the trenches with us day to day. And they warn you that, hey, when you become a caretaker, a lot of these people on the sidelines are going to be criticizing, they're going to be judging, they're going to be questioning, and it just doesn't help. I think to myself, like, when I take my car into a mechanic and he or she says, hey, I got to fix your transmission, they're not going to hold my hand and walk me through every step and explain what they're doing. They're going to tell me, go sit down or leave, let me do my job, and I'll call you when it's ready. But I don't get to sit there and be like, well, why are you using that wrench? And, who said you should be torquing at that? That's not how it works. And you know, you find out very quickly that your peace of mind, your happiness, your physical and mental health are so important. Otherwise, it'll just eat you alive. It'll just eat you alive. Every day it'll eat you alive. There are days where my sister and I, we will sleep the entire day if given the opportunity, right? I mean, bed rotting, right? Depression, yeah, very possible, very possible. But you know, we gotta wake up and pay these bills and take care of everything. You know, unfortunately, you know, my parents aren't in a financial position where they can take care of this mortgage and these bills and the food and the meds and this and that, you name it. You know, it's a collective effort. And more these days, you know, they call us the sandwich generation, where we've, you know, kind of raised our kids to young adults, and simultaneously now we're sort of taking care of our parents, taking care of our elders, you know, all at the same time. And it's not for the weak. We're still learning. We're still doing a lot of homework and research. As I learn things, I'm going to share them here on this channel. You know, if I can help anybody better navigate these waters than we did, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm going to share my experiences. I'm going to share my perspectives, the good, the bad, the ugly. And hopefully in my little circle of the world, someone else can benefit from it. Someone else can learn from it. Or someone else can at least just feel like, hey man, there's some other people going through the same thing I am right now. And we can share, we can laugh, we can cry, we can, you know, just help support one another. Because that's what it really boils down to. If it's not going to help you, if it's not going to support you, then you need to get rid of it. You know, even if it's your own family. You know, like I was telling you, you know, I basically had to establish some boundaries with my own dad, because he was just bringing nothing but negativity, criticism. You know, on top of it, you know, he gets to just dip out and leave when shit gets too crazy over here, and you know, goes on this week bender of just drinking, you know, and then a week later wants to check in and see how things are going again, and probably forgot all the drunk texts and all the drunk dials and all that kind of crap that just doesn't help our situation whatsoever. So then to add insult to injury, he's got this sister, you know, out in Arizona, who literally had the nerve to call my mother, my 74-year-old mother with dementia, called her to cuss her out and start a fight with her, defending her brother because, you know, she said my mom was talking like she was on drugs, saying crazy stuff. What part of dementia don't you understand? You're gonna call this woman, knowing she's been diagnosed with dementia, to start a fight with her and cuss her out and try to defend your brother? And I got another auntie out in Arizona who hasn't been around our family in 20 some odd 30 years, you know, who took it upon herself to go reach out to my dad and said that she didn't think that the video I posted of my own mother having dinner at home was necessary. You know, she went and reached out to my dad like, you know, like, oh, you know, Michael went and threw some eggs at the neighbors or threw some toilet paper. We're all grown. And what kind of problem could you actually have with me posting a video of my mother having dinner, having a normal night? We live for those moments. You know, we capture those moments because they're all going to be gone soon. You know, every single day that goes by, we see the changes, we see the deterioration, the confusion, right? Like, if we can't capture these moments now, what are we going to have to remember her by? All the bad stuff? All our memories are just going to be the dementia, the disease? You know, but that's exactly what I'm saying. These quote unquote family members who don't do shit to help us on the daily, who don't pay a single bill around here, who don't know anything about what it's like over here, are sitting here from a distance talking shit and causing problems. You don't need that. You don't need that from strangers. You don't need that from family members. You can't afford to allow that kind of shit into your day when you can't even get a full night's sleep because your mom with dementia kicks the door in like the SWAT team at 3 a.m, confused. You can't even let her cook in the kitchen because she starts fires when she's warming up tortillas, right? That's our day to day. That's a Tuesday for us. So the last thing we need is anybody calling over here and stirring the pot and criticizing and judging. And you know what I mean? You think you can do better? By all means, come on by. Come on over to the house and you spend the day with us over here. See how much fun we can all have together. You know what I mean? And again, you can't feel bad, you can't feel guilty for recognizing like those types of things are not helping our cause. They're not helping our mother. They're not helping our day to day. So it's up to us to protect this little circle of peace that we have, this little bubble that we had to create to keep our mother safe, to keep ourselves safe and sane, you know, to be able to get up and do it all over again. Because it's 24/7, 365. Dementia is no joke. Shit ain't funny. So, you know, for anybody out there who's feeling guilty or feeling bad because, oh, you know, I don't want to be... You have a job to do, right? And most of us, we get thrown into this thing, we're way in over our head. We don't stand a chance against dementia. The most that we can hope for, is, again, to just give our mother a little bit of dignity, a little bit of comfort and peace, and knowing that she's safe and that she's not in the care of some stranger in some strange facility, because we've all heard those stories too. You know what I mean? It's not all good over there. So anyways, there's going to be a lot more. So tune in, you know, lock in, subscribe, hit the notification button, let your friends and family know about the channel. You're more than welcome to participate and reach out to me directly, and you can be involved as much as you want, or you can just sit back and listen. Yeah, we'll talk again soon.